Good morning. Today is Tuesday, March 26th, 2024, 4:55 a.m. Doing my devotion this morning, came across Mark 11:24, which is the faith and prayer verse. The words of Jesus. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. But the thing I wanted to mention this morning is the context that this is given. This is in the context in Mark 11, of Jesus cursing the fig tree. He sees it, he's hungry, finds a distant fig tree in leaf, and he went to see if he could find anything on it. And he found nothing but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. And he said to it, "May no one ever eat fruit from you again." And his disciples heard it. Then he goes and cleanses the temple. And then he goes the next day and passes the fig tree again. And Peter remembered and said, "Look, the fig tree you cursed had withered." And Jesus answered them, "Have faith in God. Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, 'Be taken up and thrown into the sea,' and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Now, this is in the context, not necessarily a blessing. This is the part I wanted to tease out of this. This example isn't about asking for healing or asking for something specific. This is actually the faith to have things removed, obstacles removed that are in our way, that are creating problems, that are unfruitful, that are in our path. I think that's fascinating to me. But even more so is this final verse in this section. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. And whenever you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. So this faith verse that we hear so much and we lean on so much is connected, inextricably connected with this "and whenever" statement. Whenever you pray that prayer, forgive if you have anything against anyone. The condition of forgiveness, the condition of a heart of compassion and forgiveness toward other people is paramount. It's a requirement for the condition to render this prayer and to stand with a clean heart before God. And I find that interesting here. And whenever you stand praying, so you're standing before God praying, so you're in an upright position when you do this. I think there's a lot more to be said about that. And I think this is also important to emphasize, because we can pray and we'll focus on the things that we need and the obstacles in front of us, but we're not necessarily mindful of the interference that can be taking place in our own hearts and minds with things like unforgiveness. Yet, that is inextricably connected to this verse in the words of Jesus from this section. I find that fascinating. I find it also fascinating that when we talk about fruitfulness, we talk about unfruitfulness, casting out mountains, and faith. I wonder if there's a connection between that and deliverance. There's probably a more than a subtle connection there. And also people, the unfruitful people that are in our lives and the unfruitful circumstances that we face in relationships, jobs, and so forth. This little section talks about the partnership that we have with God and His agency as a willing participant in our journey, and the conditions for His participation. And I think that's really instructive and comforting, or it's comforting and instructive. So I think it's an encouragement to me to be mindful of this forgiveness standard, but then also to recognize the context here, that maybe we have more influence in our surroundings and the obstacles that are in our path than what we think we might have. All right, so that's all for now. I just wanted to make sure I recorded that.